I wonder what a mindset coach would do if they were using video. Well, you don't have to ask that question because I've got Michelle Geno along today, and Michelle is a mindset coach, and she's been using video effectively in her business to expand her business and get a steady stream of clients. So I thought I'd bring her along today, and we're just going to have a little chit chat and see if we can unearth what's worked for her and what hasn't. So, hello, Michelle.
Hello, Julian. Hello, everybody.
Yeah, so Michelle and I worked together earlier this year on video and, ironing out a few wrinkles. And that's essentially what it is. It's about getting going, accepting you're going to be imperfect once you're out there, and just bit by bit. It's just like, yeah, iron out that wrinkle and turn it around and have a bit of a look. So, Michelle, just so we know a bit about you, can you go back maybe 12 months, 18 months, something like that, to a point where you weren't really using video? Tell us, what you were doing then and just how you fed video in to your business.
Sure, Julian. Well, when I was preparing for today, I actually realized when I looked at it, I've been using Animoto now for about 5 years. So my video as such started when it wasn't actually me on camera. It was just using slideshows to build videos. And I did that pretty consistently for courses, for promotional material, for probably about 3 or 4 years. And then I think the game changer came when I was developing my mindful leadership course. And I was then in front of camera, and like most of you will know, it's a very different thing when you actually stick yourself down then in front of the camera. And it took me maybe 6 months to work out, "Oh, okay, I need to get a teleprompter if I've got a lot of words. I need this, I need that." People like Julian went around in those days and went courses, so it was very hit and miss for me at that time. But that was where I first started doing in front of camera, and then last year, going back the last 2 years, was where I really started to refine my craft in front of camera, and I did a series of videos called the Mindful Moments with Michelle, which was a passion project of mine around sharing tips with people to help them get through COVID. And then that naturally evolved, I guess, this year into what's become a bigger scale of that, which is the Mindset Michelle TV show, and where with Julian's help and really starting to refine that craft of being in front of the camera, the lighting, the sound, all the different elements that, I'm not a specialist in this space. And because Julian is, it's something that I can go, well, I'm doing this and I'm working on this. And Julian, what do I do now? So it's been great finding Julian and an expert in this space.
But see, you're presenting now, and you're just coming across. You're so relaxed. I mean, anybody watching this will just know that it's in a sense effortless. So, were you? How were you 12 months ago when you started doing your little mindset videos?
Well, last year when I was doing the sitting in front of the camera with the music stand with the script on it, because I'd worked out teleprompters were a bit complicated for short, sharp videos. And it was really like I used to hate, and still sometimes when I look at myself being female, I'm going, what about my hair? What about this? What about that? And you have to overcome it. Is the mindset stuff? You have to overcome all of the mindset stuff and just trust that when people are hearing your message, they will absorb that. And as you can tell, I'm quite passionate about it, and I kind of rely on my passion about my subject to, make whatever the background, whatever I'm looking like, be a part of that professional image, but not the key part about what I'm saying and presenting.
How have people responded to this change, to the previous, maybe uptight, nervous Michelle, to this new, more just relaxed, and I'm here to be of service to you, Michelle?
I guess one of the key things, and it's a great question, Julian, because I have a background with a lot of different traumas from my youth. And so part of that uptight Michelle was I couldn't share myself like vulnerably and authentically because I had a lot of barriers to protect myself. So it's been not just a journey for watchers, but also a journey for myself in that by becoming more comfortable and more authentic sharing who I am, it's actually for me helped me with my clients because I can more authentically speak to that journey. And it's also helped with me, like now, being able to, in 10 minutes, shift filming locations, shift the lighting, shift the setup. And then when we came together, we then fiddled with sound a little bit. And I can still sit here and go, yeah, I've got this, like, whereas 6 months ago, 12 months ago, it would have been like, oh my God, like I would have been much more nervous at this point.
And have you had any response to your presence on camera now? Have people commented that you've relaxed into this?
Well, the whole thing about doing this Mindset Michelle TV show is I now have people reaching out to me. I've lived overseas for a number of years, reaching out, and because people outside of our business don't quite know the smoke and mirrors behind things, they actually think that I do have a TV show and that I'm, like a huge celebrity in Australia now. So it's actually, in terms of profile, which was one of the points of doing more and more of me on camera, I really understood the whole shift, if you like, in the market to people like to see before they buy, know, like, and trust you. And so I had to kind of overcome all of my things about my age, my hair, my whatever, and just go, well, people want to see me, they want to buy from me. And if I'm not your cup of tea, then that's fine. But you now get to see me before you buy and work from me.
That's lovely. I don't actually use that language, and I've just written it down. They want to see,
Yeah.
see before they buy. It's such
Yeah.
a simple term. I hadn't thought about using that. Thank you so much. That will be going in my in my promotional copy. Thank you. Uh,
Yeah, see before you buy.
yeah, yeah. And so tell me about your TV show, because that's really interesting about about how you've used that to position yourself, and also about that it's an illusion that people see it, and they, in a sense, position you for you in their own mind. So let's just go back to the start of that. Why did you decide to use video to do that?
Well, I've been a huge fan of video, and I was looking for something on YouTube to show me, do these steps, and you can set up your YouTube video channel and you can become successful, etc. And again, like I was saying back in the beginning, there was no real follow these steps. All that was really in the market at that time was those terrible people sitting in their car doing the live videos, buy from me, I'm a real estate whatever, on LinkedIn. And it really kind of put you off if you were watching somebody walk down the street and you were thinking they're going to get run over by a car because they're not watching, they're talking to the camera, you weren't listening to the messages. But that was kind of what not to do. And I kept looking at, well, what to do, what to do. And the evolution for me came with moving this year into having a guest each week. So it keeps the information relevant. It appeals to different audiences, ages, male, female, all of that. And the TV show and the format, by keeping the technical side, because again, I'm a mindset coach, I'm not a technical person, keeping all of the elements around going live, doing the streaming as simple as possible so that people got to know me, got to know the guests on the show. It really then started to put it into the marketplace that this is me. The feedback has been fabulous. I don't always know who's watching or how many people are watching. And then I'll be talking to somebody and they go, oh, did you see me? I came on and was making all these comments and I really love your show. And it really helps to keep like with the people from overseas and the people that I'm reaching out to in the course of business. I keep seeing you, I keep hearing you. So it's just like that whole thing of marketing. If you repeat something often enough, then people place you as that person. So Mindset Michelle was born pretty much this year, and I've now nailed that personal brand as a brand for me, for the show, and for the business.
So what's next then? Where are you going to? How is this going to evolve?
Great question, Julian. And I guess the next steps for the show is very much about getting that corporate sponsorship. So I have friends that do community TV. Some of you may know some of those people. And I don't quite see it as community TV. I'm not sure if the next evolution is something like ticker TV, but I have looked at different corporate kind of personal branding partnerships that would help them or help individuals. The growth is going to be very much around I used to wanna grow up and be Oprah, but after some of the things she's done recently, I realised that I'm actually more Michael Parkinson. So for those older people that know who he is, it was actually very much about having those thoughtful conversations. So it's not about the sensationalism, and for me, it wouldn't be on brand to be sensationalist. It's about real people, real stories, and real conversations that can then help. I mean, I've had magicians, I've had comedians, I've had all sorts of people from different backgrounds on the show, but they all give fantastic tips that can help people to build a more successful mindset, which is the whole point of the business and the show as we look to a more and more challenging future, whatever COVID ends up looking like next year. Building that successful mindset is going to become, your key secret sauce and your key ingredient.
Yeah. So when you started, did you have any sense of imposter syndrome when you were reaching out to people to be guests on your program?
I always have imposter syndrome, Julian. I don't think it ever really goes. Um, and more so when people were saying, "Oh, you're this big TV star, and I see you everywhere," and it was like, "Oh, really?" And I had to stop and own it. So again, it's the mindset journey that I can then help other people with because I go through it myself. So when I started, and like most people, you start reaching out to your friends and your colleagues and the people that you know more. And then you start reaching out to your networks. And I actually found this year, it was quite amazing. I reconnected with people at a time when things were a bit quieter, especially in the professional speaking business. And I actually got to connect in a different way. So again, it was a wonderful opportunity to connect in a different way with people that who may have been much busier if we went locked down, and build a deeper relationship with them as a part of the journey of the show. So there were people, and there were quite, a few superstars. Louise Marler is somebody I have a huge girl crush on. I organised the International Women's Day for 5 days. We ran the show this year, and I had people like Louise Marler, Angela Vitakoulis, who ran here in Sydney for Lord Mayor just recently, and so I had what to me are superstars here in Australia, and they were all really lovely people, and they really helped me to realise they liked me as me, and I didn't need to pretend to be anything or do anything different. And it really, even though I was quite terrified sometimes, it really helped me to keep going, "Just be you, just be you, just be you." And as they warmed to me and realised I wasn't trying to sell them something, or wasn't trying to trick them in some way, or promote them in a negative light, because that's the other thing. I have had people on the show where they're used to being in networking groups. And so I have to kind of help guide them that it's not just selling, 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 or promoting themselves. Last week I worked with, Gary Vee and look at me kind of thing. So it is very much that heartfelt, authentic connection, which, like Parkinson, I see as it's that it might be slower than the sensational Oprah, but it's a much more stronger foundation to build your brand, build your work, and build your body of shows. In next week, we actually are going to be having the fifth. No, sorry, the week after, the 14th of December, we'll be up to the 50th show. And again, I wouldn't have been able to do that without those fabulous people that came on as guests throughout the year.
When you outreach to those people in the early episodes, what do you do differently now when you outreach to them? I mean, have you learnt how to better outreach to people?
One of the interesting things that I came across, and it might have been yourself, or no, it was Lisa Evans, I think, shared about the podcasting kind of community that you can reach out to. And it's all professional podcasters with shows and people that have got podcasts that want to be on shows. So I started tapping into that network, and probably next year I will go into that network more. So this week's show tomorrow, Andrew Miller is somebody that I spoke to from that network. Now, he is located in the UK. He's very into mindset. So that network, if you like, is now going to be tapping into a more global group rather than the networks I know within Australia and overseas. This is a global group of professional presenters. So the show will still be true to its sense of, it's about sharing knowledge with people, but not, I know a lot of leadership people, and I've worked in many large organizations, and there were a lot of senior people like Gordon Cairns were in my book, so I have those kinds of networks. But I wanted to make sure that the show wasn't just a high-profile leadership person saying, "Do X, Y, Z," to other high-profile leadership people. It it wanted to still have that sense that it could be reaching anybody at any level, at any time, and so the next evolution, I think, is going to those specialists like myself so that we can keep sharing those messages, but from a global point of view. So it'd be great to talk to somebody from Brazil, say, who has their own take on it, or South America or South Africa, so that it keeps building that body of knowledge. And one of the other things that is an interesting side effect and wonderful gift that you gave me, Julian, with the gentleman from On the Edge, on the box, the people that are going to do the snippets from the live shows. So I've been talking to them about, with these 50 episodes, taking snippets out of those. So for everybody watching, one of the other things we're always looking at is how can we create more content from materials. And so I'll have I'm seeing the ebook turn into like an e-video form at some point, and I'm already in my brain thinking, well, if I have snippets from 50 people that says, "What do you think is success?" and you have short little snippets from each of them, and then you've got like an e-video, like an ebook, and you can give it away to people. And your introduction is one of the ways where the technology now is going to make that easier, rather than the hours or the lot quite expensive process it would be to sit there and do it, or to pay somebody to do it.
Yeah, so this is, I'm going to bring up a comment here from Jeanette White. Jeanette says, thanks for this session. I'm a professional coach looking for ways to utilize different media to raise my profile and be seen just like Michelle. So speak to Jeanette now. Imagine you hadn't started your show, and you know what you know now, and like you could be in both places, and you didn't do it because of whatever stories you were telling yourself in your head. What would you say to Jeanette now if she was stuck starting?
I would say to Jeanette to just do it. It is scary, and you will be critiquing every single part, from the lighting to what you sound like to what you look like I shared. But the thing is to just keep doing it, keep doing it. The funny thing that I realized kind of along that journey is that it is about my mindset. It's about me just going, "That's okay, keep going. That's okay, keep going." So rather than being stuck in perfectionism, or being stuck in, my video scripts, I still think are absolutely terrible most of the time, but I keep doing it because I know that I'll keep getting better. And I've now been sitting in front of the camera for 2 years, and 3 years, and I can tell you that when I started, I sat there and I was like, "Hello, I'm Michelle," or I was like, "Hello, I'm Michelle," I had to learn the sound of my voice, the way that I was looking at the camera, all of those things, and it just is practice and practice. But it's a great point, Jeanette, because it's starting now. It doesn't matter where you're at. In fact, it's even easier to start now because the technology is getting easier to work with, and the technology, like Julian was sharing today with the Aldi special, everything's so much cheaper than when I first started buying stuff. And you can get the professional things cheaper. You can just sit there and talk easier. Zoom, even recording yourself from Zoom is so easy and so simple, and then you can keep looking at yourself. But just starting is the key.
Yeah. That's terrific. I've really enjoyed this conversation, Michelle. If God, I'd like to keep them around the 20 minutes, so we'll wrap this up now. I might have you on again because there's a lot of other things I want to ask you. But I also just want to say is that one of the things I promote is to be authentic on video, and a lot of people get like hung up on this word authentic, like they say it's overused. What does that mean? And to me, it's so simple. It's that if somebody met you in the street, they would say, "Oh my goodness, you're just like you are when you're on video." And that's it. And I want to pay you a compliment because I can tell that, I mean, we've never met each other in person, But if I met you in person, you would be exactly the same as you are here. And to me, that says you've cracked it. You've nailed it. So,
Oh, thank
Michelle,
you,
well
Julie.
done to you.
That's a really fabulous compliment. Thank you, Julian. And I really I owe you and the other mentors and the guests I had on the show this year, who really helped me to keep being true to myself, and to Jeanette and anybody else starting and wondering, well, how can I do this? I guess if you also think about the fact that there's only always going to be noisy people like Gary Vee and others out there, and you do feel like your imposter syndrome, Julian. You do feel like, "Oh, I need to look like them. I need to look like Brené Brown or whoever to be successful." You don't. You KPI talk about this thing called real estate on, and how it's changed. So it used to be real estate in terms of land and houses. Now it's real estate online. You need to nail your brand and you need to nail your real estate online. What I do is I support businesses and people with changing their mindset to become successful to do that. What Julian does is help you with the technology and making sure that it's a professional looking brand. So there's lots of people in this space that can help you now with that journey, but you have to start it. And if you don't start it, and this is what I say to my clients all the time, if you don't claim your space in Google searches, other people will say who you are in Google searches. And whether you're going for a job in a company or building a business, you want to nail what your branding is in that Google search.
Yeah, completely agree. You want to own. I just call it your digital footprint. I mean, you want to get out there and just jump in and start doing that. Look, this has been terrific. I mean, again, look, I just want to say one more thing, just to follow up on what you were saying, was that this idea that you were saying that people worry they have to be like Gary Vee or they have to be like a certain person. No, the I say that the service mindset is the new sexy on video. If you roll up just with an intent to help your audience, and your audience might be 5 people, might be 10 people, might be one person, but if you roll up, there is nothing that the person on the other end wants more for you to understand what their problem is, listen to them, and offer some way of helping them. So, and you were also saying that, earlier on in this talk about not selling, not get on, and you had to help coach, some of your guests through not to get on there and sell. Another thing I like saying is solve, don't sell. So when you go on video, just go on, I'm here to solve people's problems. And that is just be who you are. You don't, I mean, I'm a hand waver. This is me,
Me too.
I can't stop doing that. And people say, well, this is how I am when they meet me off camera. So just be who you are, and it'll work, terrifically well for you. But like Michelle has done, you've got to get in and get this ball rolling. Hey, Michelle, if people want to connect with you, where can they do that?
So you can connect with me on LinkedIn. The key thing is it's Michelle with one L. So, and the other weird thing is my name, Jeno. So the way to remember Jeno is, do you know Jeno? Michelle, do you know Jeno?
There you go. Well, terrific. Hey, thanks, Michelle. You stay there. I'm just going to say goodbye. So, everyone, please, if you know other people out there who could benefit by being in the New Video Professionals Club, tell them about it, get them to join up, and just help them start their journey. Or get a buddy in. If you're stuck, get them in, and together support each other and start showing up on video so you can uh, become the trusted authority. And when you're the trusted authority, you're going to end up having people want to work with you. That's brilliant. All right, guys, have a lovely rest of your week, and talk soon. Bye.